When mistakes are made in the federal government, every department has an accountability process, and normally that plays out in public, either IG reports or their congressional hearings, but the CIA is unique, obviously, with its mission. And when things go wrong at the CIA, its discipline is almost always handed out in secret. One good example of sort of the haphazard accountability is the rendition of Khalid al-Masri, who was a German citizen who was wrongly picked up by the CIA and held for 5 months. They got the wrong guy, and they didn't know what to do with him, and it became this sort of big diplomatic embarrassment. The CIA analyst who really pushed this the hardest, who works in the Counterterrorism Center, she was recommended for discipline, and a lawyer was as well. But when the CIA reviewed it, they said, well, you can discipline the lawyer, but don't discipline the analyst. And the thinking was, well, we don't want to discourage our counterterrorism guys from taking risks. Another good example is at Abu Ghraib. There was a detainee who died in CIA custody in a shower room under interrogation. Nobody has ever been explicitly punished for that death. One officer, a man named Steve, received a letter of reprimand for failing to get him medical attention when he was brought into the prison. But there's been no sort of public accountability for that death. Some of this may be changing under CIA Director Leon Panetta. He just recently disciplined 16 current and former officers for a decade-old shoot-down of a civilian plane in Peru. But it's also kind of hard to read because, on the one hand, he was forceful in that move, but after a bombing at a CIA base in Khost, Afghanistan, revealed systemic problems within the agency, missed signs, and a number of security protocols that weren't followed. Nobody was disciplined for that. The reasoning is that lots of people were responsible, and the people who disagree with that will say, well, what Panetta said there was lots of people are responsible, so nobody will be accountable.